on, guys? Seth here from Team Union Seth, back for our Week 4 battle in the FPCL against the Chicago Scizors. So, if you haven't checked out the team builder, make sure you check that out and watch that. But it looks like... Okay. Well, let's try that again. What's going on, guys? Seth here from Team Union Seth. I don't know if you... yeah, it's a little weird when my mic's up like that, but sorry about that. Anyway, make sure you guys check out the team builder if you have not. If you have not already done so, so you know why we're bringing what we're bringing. But it looks like our opponent brought the Victini, which was expected. The Zapdos, again, rather expected. I mean, I pretty much expected exactly what he brought. I don't really like to prepare 6 mons I think my opponent's going to bring. I more just try to prepare for everything and take things as they come. But for the most part, I generally expected what he did bring. And then the Florges. So Victini, Zapdos, Breloom, Crocodile, Mega Aggron, and Florges. I think my lead is going to be Swampert. I think he can probably lead with the with either the Aggron or the Victini, and I think my Swampert leads really well against that. Even if he wants to lead the Crocodile, we're good. And if he leads with the Breloom, I could switch into my Crobat. So going to lead off with Swampert. Let's see what he decides to go for. See what he decides to lead with. We'll see how this goes. Like I said in the team builder, I didn't have a ton of time to prep, so we're gonna see how this goes. I could really easily just go for the Earth Power right here. He's probably thinking I have maybe the Earthquake. But honestly, his way. I mean, he has Florges and he has Zapdos to defog. Getting up rocks could be really nice, and I don't think there's a whole lot he can do to me. He could like Toxic, but I don't think he would Toxic turn 1. So I'm just gonna go for my Stealth Rock. Try to get up my rocks and see what he wants to go for. If he wants to switch out into Zapdos, that's fine. I have the Scald, I have the Toxic for that thing. There's the Breloom. So I get up my rocks, which is really nice. And I'm actually just going to double out into... I want to save Druddigon for the Victini. So I'm just going to go out to my Crobat. There's the Bullet Seed. Obviously, you can see it does nothing. And we get that Black Sludge recovery. So I'm just going to go with the U-turn at this point. I don't see him switching in, so I'm just going to U-turn. If he wants to bring in Zapdos, he's going to take rocks damage. If he wants to bring in the Aggron, I can double back into my Swampert. There's the Aggron. I did actually have to change HP Ice out for Surf on the Raichu because I don't know exactly how that works, but I had to do that. So I could go into my Celesteela and potentially fire up a Leech Seed, which might be nice. Or I could go back into Swampert and get off that like Earth Power. Or I could even just go for a Scald. I think that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into my Swampert and I'm going to Scald. He might predict the Earth Power and go into Zapdos or even just the Florges. If he goes into Florges, I could fire off a Toxic or I could go out into Celesteela. Celesteela is probably the better play because I don't really want Swampert Toxic. There's the Breloom. So let's see if we can get a burn with the Scald. Takes rocks damage, comes in, takes a little bit from the Scald. We don't get the burn, but that's okay. I could go into the Crobat, but I'm predicting he might just go for a Rock Tomb. So I'm actually going to go into Celesteela at this point. As he goes for the Spore. Okay. So we saw the Bullet Seed and we saw the Spore. So the Bullet Seed and we saw the Spore on Breloom. So what can he do at this point? There's not a whole lot he can do to me. Celesteela, like, it's good for the Crocodile. It's nice for the Florges as well. I could try to break out, or I could make it double. I think I'm gonna go in a Crobat because it outspeeds everything, barring a Scarf Croaker Victini. And I can get some momentum with the U-turn. Plus, we resist almost anything this thing wants to go for. There's a Swords Dance. I'm actually going to calc my Poison Fang. I'm going to calc my Poison Fang against a standard Breloom. We are not killing. We don't kill, but there's not really, like, I mean, Rock Tomb's going to do a lot to me. We're not killing, but a U-turn into that will kill. So we're just going to go... I could Haze, actually, too. I could Haze. But I'm just going to U-turn. See what he wants to go for. But I'm glad I made the switch. I'm glad I didn't stay in because letting that thing set up for free could have been really, really scary. So I'm going to go for the U-turn, get a little bit of chip damage off on this thing. If he wants to switch out, that's fine. I get the U-turn, I get the momentum. If he wants to stay in, I can just double back into Celesteela and then potentially... if he has the Rock Tomb, he's going to go for it now. There he goes. He doubles into the Aggron. So I'm actually going to go back into Swampert at this point. I don't think he's gonna switch. He's gonna want to switch Breloom back into a Scald. I'm actually gonna Earth Power at this point. I'm gonna Earth Power. I think he might actually stay in. Yes, he does stay in. We go for the Earth Power. We get a good chunk of damage off as he goes for his own rocks. Okay, so I'm actually gonna go for a Scald now. I could predict the Zapdos switch him, but I don't know if I really want to go for that. I could also predict the Florges. I'm actually gonna go for a Toxic. I don't think he's gonna want to stay in and take all that damage. So I'm gonna go for a Toxic. And there's nothing he can really do to me. He doesn't get a Grass move, and nothing else he wants to do besides like Toxic is gonna do much to me. But I don't really know if he would bring Toxic, especially with like the Celesteela and the Nihilego and the Crobat. I don't really know if Toxic's the play for him, so I am just going to fire off a Toxic, predicting the Florges or the Zapdos to come in. There's the Breloom again, so it's nice to get a Toxic off on this thing. We saw the Stealth Rock on the Mega Aggron. Stealth Rock. And at this point, he might Swords Dance again, but Crobat's my switch every time. He could predict that and go for the Rock Tomb, but there's a Bullet Seed. We see that. Now, I don't have the Roost on this Crobat, so this is definitely wearing me down a little bit. But I'm just going to go for another U-turn. This thing keeps getting chipped down. There's the Zapdos. So we see the pressure, so no static. I get my U-turn off, and I can honestly go into either Swampert or Nihilego. Nihilego can put on a lot of pressure, but I do want to save that for late game because if I get rid of things like the Crocodile and the Aggron, Nihilego can really sweep, especially if I get, well, Breloom, Aggron, I need to get rid of Breloom, I need to get significantly weaken the Crook so I can knock it out with an HP Ice, and I need to significantly weaken the Aggron. I go to Raichu and Nasty Plot, that could be pretty scary for him, honestly. Let's see how much a +2 Psyshock is going to be doing. Raichu, Alola. Let's see how much a +2 Psyshock is going to be doing to the Florges. Let's just say standard Florges. If I'm +2, we 2 KO it. So I'm actually going to go into my Raichu. And I'm going to Nasty Plot because he can't Thunder Wave me. You know, Heat Wave. Let's see how much we're doing to his Zapdos. Let's just say OU defensive. Yeah, he's not really doing a lot to me. I'm going to change out Surf for HP Ice, whatever. But Psyshock 2 KOs this thing, so I'm just going to go for Nasty Plot. So he goes into Crook. So we don't see the Intimidate, so he's probably Scarfed. At this point, I'm just going to switch right out into my Celesteela. Yeah, he's picked that move way too fast. He's definitely Scarfed. Goes for the Earthquake. So this will be my opportunity to burn a turn of sleep, but I actually want to wait till the Breloom is gone. He has to switch out here. He has to switch out here. He can't stay in. I don't want my Crobat to take more rocks damage. What would he switch out into to handle this thing? He could switch out into Breloom, or he could switch out into potentially the Zapdos again. How much is a neutral HP Ice doing to this Zapdos? Power Ice does 30 to 36. That's not bad damage. So I'm actually, how much is it doing to a? But this thing being Scarfed, I definitely think he's Scarfed. We saw the Earthquake. He's definitely Scarfed. We saw the Earthquake. HP Ice has a chance to 2 KO this thing, so I'm just gonna double back into Raichu. There you go. He switches out into Victini. Takes the rocks damage. This is my chance. I'm just going to Volt Switch out. I doubt he's running Double Scarf. If he is, he got me good. But Victini is an interesting switch because I get some damage off with Volt Switch, and I can just go into my Druddigon, honestly. Yeah. Druddigon doesn't really have much use other than the Victini. I mean, it's decent to get off some damage on potentially the Breloom, which could be nice. But let's see what he wants to do here. That was a good switch. I can easily get off my Volt Switch here. With how long he's taking, I don't think he's Scarfed. I think the Volt Switch is super simple. It's kind of weird running Volt Switch and Nasty Plot, but it's more for the Nasty Plot's more of like the Electrium Z. We get damage off, so I'm just gonna go into Druddigon. If he wants to U-turn, he's gonna be taking a lot of damage, and I don't think will he be able to switch into rocks again. There's a sub, so he's sub Victini. That's fine, honestly. What could he... I mean... Let's see. Let's just say if he's max attack. I doubt he's adamant. Let's just give him Jolly. If he create... I mean, how much is he... He's taking... The Sucker Punch... Sucker Punch does good damage. I'm just gonna Sucker Punch. I mean, does he get any setup moves, really? I think he gets Calm Mind, but is he gonna go for that? Like, is he? If he does, I can Dragon Tail him twice. If he's sub Calm Mind, that's kind of scary. But we do outspeed, and he can't come into rocks again, so he has to stay in here. If I knock out this sub, I'm probably just gonna Dragon Claw again, or not Dragon Claw, Dragon Tail, because then he can't come in on rocks, and I can freely use this Druddigon as I wish to take hits or to pivot into on pretty much anything. Fire Punch do a little bit of damage to the Aggron. It doesn't have recovery, barring getting a Wish pass from the Florges. So, let's see what he's going to do. He's really thinking about this play here. I could have Earthquake. I could easily have Earthquake. So he's maybe thinking about making a switch. But again, he doesn't come in easily. You get the Sucker Punch off, the sub fades. Goes for Z what? Shattered Psyche. Okay. So he has the Z. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, he has Psyche. So he went for the Z Shattered Psyche. So let's see. Zen Headbutt. Z Zen Headbutt. It did what? 50%? 51.5%. That's about right. So if he was adamant, would it do that much? No, so he's not adamant, he's Jolly. And that was a Z-Zen Headbutt. So I'm just going to Dragon Tail. I think he's probably just going to sub again. No, he can't sub again, so I'm just going to Sucker Punch. Because if he wants to switch, that's fine. Yeah, we Sucker Punch, we knock out the Victini, which is really, really nice. So we saw the Psyche MZ, but that doesn't matter anymore. Z-Zen Headbutt. Yeah, because he couldn't set up a sub because he didn't have enough HP, so he couldn't really outstall my Sucker Punches. And if he switched out, Victini died to rocks anyway, so there was no reason for him to switch. And obviously he couldn't sub, so he had to go for an attacking move. But that's really nice. We got rid of a huge threat in the Victini. If we can get rid of the Zapdos, Celesteela has a field day with this team. Even though it's asleep and it hasn't burnt any sleep turns, we still have a field day with his team if I can get rid of that Zapdos. And I mean, it's already switched into rocks once. It could come in again here, but what's his switch? Florges, maybe Crocodile. If he goes into Crocodile, I'm probably just gonna stay in and sack this thing off because I don't really need the Druddigon anymore. I really don't. Yeah, there's the Crocodile. Obviously, we don't see the Intimidate. I could Sucker Punch for damage. I doubt it's gonna do anything. I don't even think it's worth it. Yeah, Sucker Punch does nothing. I'm just gonna Dragon Tail. See if we can get something in that doesn't want to be in. Outrage is going to take Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet. Okay, that's actually really nice for me. We see the Outrage on this thing. He gets the Moxie Boost, which is not good. But he's locked in, which is good. So he's locked into the Outrage. It's not Stab. Let's see how much you're doing to Swampert. And he's at +1. Outrage. Are we eating that? We are swallowing that. And then the Scald knocks him out from this range. So Swampert is 100% my play. He's locked in. He can't do anything. So I'm just going to go fire off the Scald. And that does 40%. That's about where it should be, right? Yeah, we knock him out. So, yeah, that's about where it should be. That was potentially even a high roll. He could have been adamant, maybe. Yeah. So, either way, though, doesn't really matter. Brings in the Balloon. Could go for another Swords Dance, which could be pretty scary. Could definitely do that. How much are my Scald? My Scald was doing like 30% earlier, I'm pretty sure. My Scald was doing like 30%. That seemed about right. Huh. I'm actually going to scroll up here. I hate doing this because, like, I know on Wi-Fi you can't really do that, so I'd have to take note of those things. But did 24%, so it's about right. That's about right. So, how about Earth Power? How much is Earth Power going to do? Not much more. Do I need this thing? I need this thing for aggron. I really do. But Celesteela just wrecks his team. So I'm actually going to double into Crobat. We've seen Bullet Seed, Spore, and Swords Dance. He's got to have Mach Punch. That's the thing. So I don't think he has Rock Tomb. Let's go into Crobat. If he does have Rock Tomb, he doesn't have the Mach Punch, and Nihilego destroys him. So he goes into the sword. He goes for the Swords Dance. How much is a +2 Swords Dance going to do, or +2 Mach Punch going to do to my Crobat? It's definitely not going to kill from here. I know that. Yeah, it does 20%. And my U-turn, with the Toxic damage, it'll knock him out here. So I just U-turn. If he wants to switch, I get the momentum again. If he wants to stay in, he's going to die to Toxic damage. Or potentially his U-turn. There's the Mach Punch. We get the U-turn off. And I don't think Beast Boost works like that. If it does, though, hold on. We're looking this up. Very unofficial here, but I don't really care. My computer's super slow, kind of, but Beast Boost. We are looking this up. Okay. We are looking this up, so let's see. Beast Boost. When it knocks out a Pokemon. I don't think Toxic damage... I don't think Toxic damage works like that. No, don't change this page. Jesus. Does Beast Boost work with Toxic? I'm just gonna say it doesn't. I don't want to keep wasting time. What is my switch here? Swampert's my switch, I think. Honestly, I'm just gonna tell him what was happening. Worked with Toxic. But I get my Swampert in here. My thinking is anything he wants to bring in, I can take. I have the Rindo Berry for a potential HP Grass from the Zapdos. I can Toxic the Florges. Here's the Florges. He could potentially Calm Mind. I am just going to go for the Toxic. That is my play. There's the Moonblast. Does a good chunk of damage. We get the Toxic off. So at this point... I could let this thing die. But it's still nice. We outspeed the Mega Aggron, and it stops him from just kind of ult switching if he wants to. So I'm gonna go into Celesteela. We can eat Moonblasts. We get our lefties recovery. We see the lefties on him. And I'm just gonna Leech Seed. We're going to try to wake up at this point because Celesteela destroys his team now. So I am pretty free. Well, are we 2KOing the Florges with Nihilego? Florges. I'm not going to bother calculating the damage from the Florges. Wow! What if he's specially defensive? With a calm nature. Holy sh... This thing is so strong! Crobat doesn't bring me a whole lot of use anymore, especially because I have the Nihilego, so I'm going to switch out. I also have Celesteela to help take on that thing. Goes for the Roost. Honestly, I could Toxic here, which could be an interesting play. I could Toxic here, it could be an interesting play. That's actually what I'm going to do. Just in case he wants to stay in, I can get this thing Toxic. We see the Roost on Zapdos. It's the first move we've seen on this thing, I'm pretty sure. So if he wants to stay in, I can just Toxic it, which will be really, really nice, getting that constant chip damage off on him. If he switches into the Florges, I can just Poison Fang him. His best switch here is probably the Aggron, but if I go for the U-turn, he's in a little bit of trouble. We get off the Toxic on the Zapdos. As he does just knock us out with the Thunderbolt. That's fine, though. That's fine. Because now, let's see. to a Zapdos. Power Gem knocks him out. Power Gem knocks him out. How much is a +1 Thunderbolt going to do to the Mega Aggron? If we're +1, Thunderbolt KOs, Nihilego's my play. 100% Nihilego's my play. We fire off the Power Gem. If he wants to switch, he loses. He kind of loses either way here, though. Now I can at least knock this thing out. I'm gonna calc again. I'm gonna make. Well, no, he's gonna take rocks damage, so he's definitely gonna die with the Aggron. Because he'll be at like 38. So even if he's yeah, and this is fully specially defensive. So no, he 100% dies. Never mind, we're good. Yeah, we win. I mean, this has to knock out the Zapdos. So we have to hope that he's physically defensive. If he's specially defensive, we do not knock him out, but I don't think there's anything he can do to me, really. If he's HP ground. I don't even know if HP ground would kill. Let's see. Hidden power ground. A defensive Zapdos. Yeah, that doesn't even kill. Not even close. He just loses to this thing. So we set that up perfectly. We set this up so well for Nihilego. Oh my gosh. Like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I knew what I had to do, and I knew I had to keep this thing for the late game, and it could eventually come in and sweep. This thing was a problem for his team. It really is. This thing is a problem for his team. So is Celesteela, honestly. Once that Victini went down, I mean, even with the Zapdos, it's still hard for him to take it down. But let's see what he wants to do. He's probably running some calcs now and realizing that he has nowhere to hide. If he switches into something, I can go for another move and knock him out. Florges is at what? 82%, and it's toxic. So even if he goes into Florges, and he's fully specially defensive, goes in Florges, he's fully specially defensive. Power Gem, yeah, Power Gem into Sludge Wave easily takes him out. Wait, that's at +1. Hold up. Yeah, Power Gem into Sludge Wave still takes him out from the range he's at. There's nothing he can do. There's just nothing he can do. So if he's specially defensive with the Zapdos, which I don't think he is, but even if he is, we win either way. Because HP Ground is the only thing he can really do to me that will be able to do enough damage. That's the only thing that will be able to do enough damage to me, but it won't even do enough. There's the Florges, so we just Power Gem into this thing. I'm free to Sludge Wave now. I'm very free to Sludge Wave. If he wants to go into Aggron, that's well, hold on. Hold on. Let's stop and think here for a second. Let's stop and think here. A neutral Thunderbolt to the Aggron is doing 30 to 35. That Power Gem did 27% to this thing. So let's calc some damage based off of that. So he is specially defensive. 27. He could be fully specially defensive, honestly. Yeah, he looks like he's fully specially defensive. So a Thunderbolt will not KO him. And a Moonblast doesn't do much to me, but it could lower my special attack. So that's definitely something to note. I don't want a Sludge Wave because I want something to be able to damage the Aggron. Because if I get damage on it, either way, even if I'm not at +1, if I get some damage on it, we kill. So I'd rather go for like 2 Thunderbolts here, or a Thunderbolt and a Power Gem. How much is the Power Gem doing to the Mega Aggron? Oh, Power Gem does plenty of damage, so I'm just gonna go for another Power Gem. But he's seen the Life Orb. There's a Wish. So if he's... I'm going to Thunderbolt. I feel like I have to Thunderbolt. Because he's going to switch into Aggron. If he's specially defensive, he lives this. He is. Okay. So we see that did 30%. So we see he's pretty... He's defensive there. So what's my switch now? I still have the Electrium Z, which is really nice. I still have Nasty Plot on Raichu. So Nihilego might not get the sweep. He's played this really, really well. We saw the Wish on the Florges. I just want to stay slow and stay focused. We saw the wish on the Florges. His play here is just to attack. Do I need Swampert? How much is an Electrium Z from the Raichu doing to the Zapdos? Zapdos. Z-Volt Switch. Does enough. I think that kills. 52 to 67. Doesn't kill, but I don't want to go to Zapdos or Raichu now. I'm just going to go into Celesteela now. Let's see what he wants to go for. We see the Earthquake. Okay. So we predict that nicely. I mean, we weren't predicting Earthquake, obviously, but we make a good switch there. And, I'm just going to Leech Seed and try to wake up. We've been asleep for one turn. He brings in the Zapdos. Do we wake up? We do not wake up. Can I live a Thunderbolt? I don't think it's smart for me to try. Put in my custom set. That might help. Let's discard. We see the Thunderbolt. We can live the Thunderbolt. I don't want to. Swampert's my switch 100% of the time because I don't really need it anymore. Considering, well, let's see, an Electrium Z to a defensive Mega Aggron. Z-Volt switch is going to be doing 44 to 52. If I can get if I can bring in the Alolan Raichu and Nasty Plot up, we should be fine. So I'm just going to switch out into Swampert. Goes for the Thunderbolt, so he's going to take more toxic damage. I'm very free to Earth Power. If he wants to Roost, we're fine. If he goes into the Zapdos or the Aggron, we're fine. So I'm just going to Earth Power. If he wants to Roost, we do a ton of damage to this thing. So there's the U-turn. So he kills us with the U-turn. So that actually gives us the initiative. So we see the U-turn as well. So we're seeing this thing's moveset. And let's see what he wants to go for. We saw the lefties on Zapdos too. Let me just mark that down. There's the Florges and it dies to rocks. Ooh. Smart plays. Smart plays. So he is at 60% with his Aggron, but he can't heal it anymore. He cannot heal that Aggron anymore. So Raichu is 100% my play. We kill the Zapdos or the Mega Aggron with Electrium Z. I don't think anyone gets initiative right now. I think we both just have to send something out. But I can Electrium Z. I can Z-Volt Switch anything. I can Z-Volt Switch anything. There's the Aggron. And my play is always Z-Volt Switch. There's no reason for me to not Z-Volt Switch. So we get off the damage we need for Nihilego to come in and clean up. So I'm just going to Z-Volt Switch. Z, so we get our Gigavolt Havoc off. It's not going to kill. The Raichu's going to die to the Earthquake. He might predict the Celesteela switch because that's what we've been making. He could just predict a normal Volt switch, but we get the Gigavolt Havoc off. We do a ton of damage. There's the Earthquake. We do die to the Earthquake, but now Nihilego comes in, and I can Power Gem to win the game. Now, we know he's not Scarf Zapdos, so he can't outspeed me. He just typed GG in the chat, so I'm going to type GG as well. So we get one Power Gem. We get that Beast Boost, and here we go for the second Power Gem to finish off the game. So, I'm not going to say anything yet. I mean, I already said GG in the chat, but I don't usually like to do that. But a +1 Power Gem is easily going to be able to take this thing out. And that is going to be good game. So we get ourselves back up to 2-2, back up to 500 in this battle. I felt like I played really, really well. I felt like I was really in control. Yeah, that was a really good game. I felt like I played really, really well. I felt like I had control of my plays. I knew what I wanted to do. I kept momentum in my favor. Those U-turns from Crobat were really, really clutch. And I felt like I really thought my plays through, and I did really, really well with that. So that's about it. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below what you thought of the battle. Let me know your thoughts in general. Like I said in the team builder, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at TeamUnionSeth. I post a ton of stuff on there. But other than that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.